Hi, this is Chris Sawyer from Taste Live. We're live right here at La Boutique in San Francisco. We're kind of a little bit incognito because we're tasting superstar wines and we want to hog it to ourselves. And for those of you great bloggers that are out there right now, you've got some in your possession as well. So we're going to move on to talk about Vouvray. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Chris Sawyer, the Sommelier to the Stars, of course. That's why I'm here. But I'm with Pamela Busch, the fabulous wine writer for the San Francisco Examiner. Pamela, welcome. Tell everyone a little bit more about you.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Nice to see you again, Chris. It's been a few minutes or so.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have, besides writing, which is mostly what I do now, have done a lot in the wine bar world. I opened Haze and Vine, which was one of the, let's just say, the first modern-style wine bar in San Francisco in 1994. And then in 2005, I opened up Cave Wine Bar and Kitchen, which was taking what we did at Haze and Vine to a different level and putting like this same caliber food along with it. Yeah. So, and I've also done a lot of educating and other writing and a few things that don't need to be said on camera.
Yeah. Well, like me, we love wine, and that's why we're here, and especially talking about Vouvray. For those of you that don't know much about the Vouvray region, it's located southwest of Paris. It's about halfway between Paris and the Atlantic Ocean.
So you could go there in a day trip.
You could go there in a day trip. You really can. It's only
yeah.
like an hour and a half max. It's just a little bit above the city of Tours, which is a very beautiful, charming college town. This is a great area, not only because of the landscape, but also because of the terroir.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about the terroir and the main grape that's grown there, which is Chenin Blanc. And we've got another great example right in front of us for this segment. We're tasting the Le Haut Lieu. This is from Domaine Huet. This is 2007 or 2011 vintage, sorry. And this is a sect. So this is a dry style of wine. In this region, you have sparkling wines, dry wines, demi-sec, which is a slightly sweeter style of wine, and you have dessert style wines called Moyeu usually, or cuvées. This is a fantastic producer from this region. Tell us a little bit about this producer in particular.
Well, sure. I mean, Huet is legendary, not just from the point of view of being just an absolute first-rate, world-class producer, but Gaston Huet was a French resistance fighter, and he was captured, and he became a POW. And actually, he started almost like a little collective, unofficial collective, in the prisoner of war camp, with some other POWs, and they created like a wine and food festival. I mean, it sounds all very Hogan's Heroes, but this is something that actually happened. And then afterward, when the war was over, he came back and he took the company that was started by his father in 1928, and he took the kernel of something that was already very, very good and solid, and over time purchased more land and just, I think, single-handedly more than anybody else, is the one who made Vouvray what it is today and gave it the reputation that it has today. And another thing also, you were going to say was 2007, and this is a sec. I wish this were 2007. Not that I'm not happy with the 2011, but these wines age so incredibly well. Vouvray in general, Huet especially. So you could probably go back and have a sec that's 10 years old, and it would be delicious.
We just got some comments about any time I have a taste of Huet at nighttime, it's a good time. So I would have to agree. This is an amazing producer. They started in 1928, but the appellation wasn't even developed until 1936. So they were.
It wasn't made official.
It wasn't made official. I remember they've been planting grapes in this area for hundreds and hundreds of years. Really, a real big change came into the area in the 14th century when a lot of these plantings on these original properties were really put in the ground. So it's fantastic. It really has a style all its own, and this is one that both you and I have visited this winery. It's a fantastic place. This is one of 3 different vineyard designates, and that's an important thing to say. This is really the oldest vineyard on their property, and it's also the one that they really make a designate that they ship a lot to the United States. So this is pretty much the most accessible one that you can find in the United States, and this is imported by the rare wine company in Sonoma, where I'm from. So this is a great style. Let's talk a little bit about this. We've got some incoming notes, right?
It's alive.
Yeah.
Great acids.
Great acids.
Oh, I
sure.
concur.
Yeah. If you like sweet, like Eno Bites is saying, if you like sweet whites, for you on a bottle of Vouvray, sweet, often botrytis-sized, beautifully styled wine. Yeah, this has got a...
We're going to get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, but this has got a little sweetness in it. It always has had. But I think when you really taste this, and you know, the flavors, the ripe little white peach, the melon, there's a lot of things going on in here. It's got that citrus, but a little bit more lemon lime that's happening. Mineral, for sure.
And also within Vouvray, you find it, and not just Vouvray, other parts of the Loire, but there are a lot of fossilized shells.
Yes.
And that really has an impact on the soil and as a result on the wines too.
Yeah. I just saw something. My vine spot, Hewitt 2011 sect, balanced with nice notes of melon, pear aromas, touches of almond, and hay, and a refreshing citrus zesty acidity. Absolutely nailed it right there. That's really what it's about. We've got Fabo Seagirl talking about the pear, mineral, grapefruit, nice. Absolutely. We love this wine. You know, I got a little thing on the nose when we were tasting it earlier, too, that I kind of brought up. It's almost like an egg flour soup, you know, when you think about Asian cuisine. And it's just got that little funk to it that is so Vouvray.
And that's sometimes, I find not only with Vouvray, and almost more so with Sommelier, where when you smell it, it almost seems like it's corked sometimes. When it's not, because of that little, like, that funky quality. Sometimes it is corked, but often it's not.
Well, it's also the chalkiness of the soils, and you know, this is that kind of an area where you've got the crystallized little segments of the sandy soils and limestone. It's a very fascinating region, and just so much stuff that's happening inside this wine and inside your mouth right now.
Well, and just getting back to Hewitt a little bit more, Gaston Hewitt actually passed away 10 years ago, but it stayed in the family. The quality has not suffered at all, which sometimes that happens. You have a legend that you know, who's no longer with us, and then someone takes over, who's especially a blood relative, and there's such high expectations, and it's almost impossible to meet them. But I think that it's really stayed consistent, and that goes all the way from the sparkling wines to the very sweet wine.
Yeah, I think it's holding up great. The acidity, and one very, very important point about these wines from Vouvray is that they're little investments on our behalf to buy these bottles of wine, but they taste great.
Because they're great values.
Yeah, they're great values overall, but they taste great young, and they age well. That's the other thing, and they're very different than a lot of Sauvignon Blancs, Chardonnays, all these white wines that we drink on a regular daily basis that, you know, they'll last a few years, but these are ones that you could put away for a while, too.
For decades. I've actually have had a Hewitt Molieu, so it was a sweeter one, from, what was it? It was in the 20s. And actually, I think I had one from 1918, which is like, and I'm trying to remember how that was, because that was before they started the winery, but I've had like 60, 70 years old Vouvray that has just been, it tastes like an older wine, but it's just impeccable. Right.
Well, we'll keep investigating these wines, and I hope you will too. On behalf of Pamela, myself, and the rest of the great cast of characters here from Taste Live, thank you for being a part of this show. And please follow these wines and the producers a little bit more on LoireValleyWines.com. Thanks for being here. Cheers.